Okay, so the weirdest thing to me about the beginning of Hardspace Shipbreaker is they do this photosensitivity warning right here at the beginning, and you're like, oh man, this game might have flashing lights. I should do something about. Oh my gosh! Like, they are not kidding about that warning. The Focus Home Interactive logo immediately gives everyone a seizure the moment it arrives. Hi, welcome back to Hardspace Shipbreaker. I've played this game a ton of times before, but they just released I believe it's the 0.4 update, which includes basically a new campaign, as far as I can tell, a bunch of new characters, who I think at this point are going to be voiced by developers from the team and not professional voice actors, so, you know, We'll reserve some judgment there. People who, you know, I think they strenuously emphasize that in the patch notes. I think partly so that people will not judge, and I think that's totally fair. They've also made some changes to the early game ships, and so while my last video I think was a lot about sort of the more advanced ships, like the Javelin class, I'm kind of actually by necessity coming back to the beginning of the game because, you know, they wiped all your progress, which is fine. This game's in early access. That's what it's for. So I'm going to start over at the beginning, and let's just see what the game looks like now from the start. Begin in standard mode. Don't want to have limited lives. Humankind has industrialized much of the solar system. Earth has deteriorated into a place of squalor and decay. In orbit, a new breed of worker has emerged, the Shipbreaker. The labor is extremely dangerous, but for a select few, the hazard pay is worth the risk. The Shipbreaker. Food shortage continues. Oh! View update. Yes, employment confirmation form. Oh, let's enter our name. Our name is Rangatang. Next. Okay, because I'm using a mouse, I don't need to invert. Meal preference? Plastic free? Oh, no. I'm gonna go with plastic full chicken. And then, oh, what's this? Okay, seems like the audio for this might have gotten a little bit loud. So, well, I guess we're picking our voice, so maybe that's appropriate. So I love that these voices are like all me in pain doing effort things. So yeah, let's go with the female voice just because that's fun. And yeah, I have no criminal record. I'm not a member of things. I have completed my medical exam. I don't have lungs. I have no commercial or real estate interests in whatever. I bring a positive attitude, totally. I understand the health risks, and I will vote for someone in whatever election, yes. Okay, I think I will skip training. Ooh, doing that as a thumbnail is kind of fun. I mean, a thumbprint, not a thumbnail. A thumbprint is pretty fun. Something that actually does take a little bit of time to justify the hold action. Ooh. I love this soundtrack, by the way. In fact, I think it's for sale, and I think I'm gonna buy it.
Each day he steps into the yard to earn his wages working hard. I pray to the stars and heaven above to return my daddy to those he loves. If there comes a time when he and death meet, bless the next cutter that takes his seat.
if you've already seen this intro, feel free to skip it, but I feel like enjoying it. All right. Welcome to
Hello,
Morrigan.
Cutter 9346-52. Your automated Lynx onboarding experience will now begin. Please observe this important message. Space, boundless promise, limitless resources, a brighter future. It's here that hard workers like you, the backbone of civilization, will help us pave the way to the galaxy. I'm Calicia Rye-Paulson, president of Lynx Corporation Salvage Division. When my great-great-grandfather Exeter founded Lynx, he foresaw a remarkable opportunity among the stars. His vision eventually brought us the railgates. Now spanning all the way to Jupiter, these are the veins connecting all of modern civilization. And the people flowing through them are its lifeblood. The railgates reinvigorated humanity and are key to our continued progress.
Am I supposed to be seeing something?
You have been selected from among thousands of candidates to join the Lynx family.
Maybe it's unfinished.
This is more than just a job. It's an opportunity to be part of the largest, most successful, and most pioneering company in human history. Your dream may be to forge your own destiny one day. Well, work hard, heed your superiors, believe in the Lynx vision. Do this, and you too will get your chance. Your first step is to join our EverWork program. The greatest gift we give our employees, turning death into an ongoing opportunity for learning and growth. With Lynx, death is a fresh start. Good luck.
I think they basically clone you so they can resurrect you and have you work for them forever. Okay. So...
Video observation complete.
what video?
Finalize onboarding. Your genetic sequence will now be extracted for use with the Lynx EverWork Asset Replacement Program. Don't worry, pain levels during extraction are largely tolerable.
Okay.
Please note, as outlined in Section 31 of your employment agreement, the process of genetic extraction will destroy your original body. Beginning extraction now.
Okay.
Extraction analysis and backup complete. Thank you. Beginning spare generation.
Okay, that's pretty hardcore. Reminds me of a TV show I watched. It's set in like a virtual reality, and when people are when their minds are scanned to put them in, it actually destroys their entire head, like their head explodes. And I found that amusing. Okay, so I've been clicking a lot. Okay, escape, I guess, is what I needed to press. So I'm imagining that maybe that's just an unfinished part of the game and there's going to be a video that plays there. This game is in early access. That is the kind of thing that you do in early access. All right. So we're learning about mackerels. New message. If you've reached clearance for hazard level 2, you may begin to encounter fire hazards in the form of fuel and flaming objects. Awesome. Got unread messages. Does that say safety third? It just occurred to me it said safety third. Is that their slogan? Anyway, okay, so let's start a new shift. View the ship catalog. And I've heard that they have revamped... Oh, wait. No. Let's not claim it yet. They've revamped the Mackerels. And there's a new science one, but it might not be... I think it's not available to me yet early on in the game. So you got to choose between a light cargo and a station hopper. Oftentimes, I'll just go for the one that's got the most, like, monetary value, which looks like it's this light cargo. So let's just go with that. Of course, the monetary differences are minor compared to my debt, but whatever. Now, it's been a while since I've played this game, so you'll have to have a little bit of patience with me. Because I'm going to have to remind myself how everything works. Oh, weird. So, before they reset my progress, I had unlocked a bunch of, like, upgrades. Like, I could move faster. I'm pretty sure my oxygen could probably last longer. So, this is going to be... It's going to be weird. I got very used to the way I moved before.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Okay, so it looks like that one is connected on the inside. Is there anything else on the outside of this ship that I want to do something with? Doesn't look like it. I guess there's always a switch. It looks like it's already been... Yeah, it's already been voided of air. Oh, it's interesting to go back to the beginning of this game where I didn't have to worry about things like decompression. So, no need to hold on to that. Or this, for that matter. Alright, let's head in here. Lots of random debris. What's this guy? A forklift, huh? Okay, good to know. Looks like we got some nice little cut points here. Let's get the lay of the land. Very simple cockpit. What do we have in the way of, like, reactors and things? Huh. Looks like this one might... Wait a minute. I'm trying to remember now. Is there one back here? Huh, I guess maybe the reactor's just already been stripped from this one because it's sort of an early game thing. Well, we might be able to make short work of this thing if it's missing a lot of those pieces that are usually more time and care intensive. So if you're new to Hardspace Shipbreaker, you've got these cutting tools that can cut actually almost everything. Most things in the ship can be cut. You try to take it apart carefully because you get more money from, like, delivering valuable intact pieces of the ship and delivering them to the right locations. So right now I'm cutting all of these sort of pre-assigned cut positions because, especially considering this is an early game ship, you see it's gonna, like, come apart in these lovely coherent pieces like that. So oftentimes my first step is just to go through and cut all of the obvious cut points, see what comes apart easily, and then work from there. You'll notice each time I finish one of these cut points, whatever's behind it starts glowing with heat. And if I kept cutting, I would also cut the thing behind it. So I gotta be pretty careful. One thing at later levels with the more advanced ships, you'll often get into situations where there are flammable things that might be behind the thing you're cutting. And so you have to be very careful not to overshoot past the thing you're cutting and, like, blow up a fuel line or something. It looks like this particular ship, because we're so early in the game, it's deliberately not offering me any of those kinds of hazards. All right, anything? Oh yeah, I totally missed some stuff up here. Hit these guys. Oh, out of range. Oh, you know what? I think that's another upgrade that I used to have now that's now been removed. I used to have a longer range cutter. Okay, I think that's all of the obvious cut points. What happens if I try to shove the floor here? Yeah, here we go. All right, so you'll see that when I point my cursor at this item, it says processor in the middle of the screen. That means that it goes in the blue place. So we can move it around. And do I actually have tethers? I think I might not have tethers yet. I'm trying to remember, how did I fire tethers before? I think it was a right click with this thing. So wow, okay, so tethers are this great tool that let you link two things together. Ooh, wait, I left that thing with a light on it. I mean, I don't really care, but technically the light goes to the barge. It's a very small difference, though. Ah. All right, so yeah, I need to head back to grab some oxygen, and unfortunately, I move more slowly than I used to. Okay, it seems like the shift key is moving me down now. I remember using the shift key for, like, a boost or something? Am I crazy?
Oxygen stabilizing.
That's how we get out of there. So I totally get that. I think that I probably don't have my boost anymore. I bet that was probably an upgrade that I bought earlier. But having it move my character physically down is kind of strange. I might need to adjust the controls a little bit. All right. In any case, let's grab some more pieces that we know have been successfully detached. Like this one, which goes to the processor. Let's make sure it actually gets there. So yeah, I got very used to using tethers to send things to the right locations, because I could just sort of fire and forget and not worry about whether I sent it in the exact right angle, because the tether would eventually make sure it got there. So having to actually like aim and fire things at their destinations is weird now. I feel like it's gonna go, something horrible is gonna go wrong. Okay, so here's this tool that goes to the barge.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
And I think, yeah, so random cargo items like this also tend to go to the barge. That forklift by itself might actually be the thing that
Account credit applied.
made this ship more valuable than the others. Okay, so it looks like as I've been dragging pieces away, oh yeah, this thing has kind of come skewed. Look at this. Like, the cockpit is now offset from the rest of the ship because it was detached, which is totally cool, because that is revealing the space between the inner and outer hull. So let's kill these cut points, and then we can really start taking this sucker apart.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So it does look like there's been a UI upgrade. I've got this bar across the top that's telling me my progress with the current ship. Ooh, so let me pull this bit away now that I've detached it, and I can see the rest of the interior of the ship. And look, oh, all right, so this,
I see some potential fire hazards in there, so
Yeah.
watch out, Cutter.
yeah, this is something we got to be careful of.
Oxygen tanks, fuel tanks, or fuel lines. If there are flammable objects nearby, those flames can spread pretty quick like.
Okay, so this, I'm definitely wanting to cut from this side, so I'm pointed away from the fuel tank, not towards the fuel tank. And we can make enough room, we can get that fuel tank out of here safely. We gotta cut very close to it right here. And actually, so one thing I'm not sure about is this connection right here to the fuel tank. Like, Am I going to need to cut that? And how dangerous is that going to be? It looks like, yeah, okay, it looks like there is a fuel line connecting to this thing. I don't know. And there's another one on the other side. I don't actually know if there's, I mean, it doesn't look like it could connect to anything behind it. So I'm not sure exactly in this scenario how I'm supposed to deal with it. Can I just pull the entire thing free? Well, we'll worry about that in a second. Where did I put the barge? Down below there. Okay, so...
We've got about 5 minutes left in this shift, Cutter. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Weaver out.
Okay, so I think this entire thing goes... Oh, this goes in the barge.
Credits transferred.
Oh, this is cuttable right here. Okay, I didn't catch that. All right, we can do this. Let's actually switch to our vertical cutting tool. Okay, and so now this, normally I would tether it to the barge, but whatever. Let's just fire this sucker into the barge. And then this guy, now detached from the thing that goes to the barge, can go into processing. So in general, I think sort of the more common metals and simple things go into the furnace, but the more complex, like composite materials, go into processing. So the outer hull of the ship tends to be made out of that processing-worthy stuff, whereas a lot of the internal components, or at least the internal structural stuff, goes in the furnace.
Hey, Cutter, I need you to head back to the kiosk on the starting platform to fill up your O2. Stat. Weaver out.
Okay,
Credits deposited.
so I was worried...
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
I was worried that pulling that fuel off was going to lead to a fuel leak, but I guess what it seems like is that oh right, that makes sense. The fuel tank is the source of the fuel, not the destination of the fuel. So if I pull it off that fuel line, the fuel line empties and things are safe. The problem would be if I tried to pull something else off the other end of the fuel line and then fuel was just flowing out of it from the tank.
Oxygen reserves are critical. Affordable oxygen supplies are available for purchase at the Master Jack.
Yeah, I love that they've got this like
Stabilizing.
company store vibe going on. Man, without tethers to pull things all the way to their destinations, I'm missing a lot of deliveries here. Like I've got this guy right here. Come on. Make it all the way to the barge. This is space. You're not supposed to stop.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So there is this thing they do, like they deliberately, I think they've got they're imagining there's some sort of like inertial dampening field or something like that in this area, because things do not just continue forever into space the way they would in real life. And that's so you're not just constantly losing things, which makes sense, right? For just the sake of the game being fun, that makes sense.
Processing valuable objects.
But it does mean that sometimes things will slow down at a time when you were kind of relying on, physics to get them all the way there. Like when I push this thing, I expect it to make it all the way to the barge, and it's kind of weird if it doesn't. Okay, so I know this is a piece I can remove. Okay, so one thing I don't actually see,
Account credit applied.
I don't actually see a timer on my screen telling me when I have to take a break. Normally that's a thing. In fact, yeah, I'm pretty sure that my boss just told me I had 5 minutes left, but I don't see those 5 minutes listed anywhere unless somebody else does and I'm just missing it. So this goes in the
We're
processor.
getting down to the wire. Let's put a bow on this shit.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything telling me how many minutes I have left. That's odd, right? That used to be I feel like that used to be a really prominent part of the UI.
Valuable object posted.
Oh, I see it now. It's over on the right side. Thank you, Stealthy Assassin, for finding it. 32, 31. It's up above me. Right. Up there. Okay, cool. Thanks. It's just very small and subtle. I mean, we've only got a couple minutes left. Might as well just throw some garbage in the barge. Oh, wait, this goes in the furnace? Okay, fine. I think maybe this will be my first thing thrown in a furnace since we restarted. There we go. All right, 9 seconds left. Can't get much done. So not only do I pay for my oxygen, I think I also pay for other expenses per day, and that's what motivates you to work fast, is the fact that you can't make a profit unless you're actually getting it done in a reasonable amount of time. All right, so I actually earned some credits. Nice. And I've got some points, mastery points. I got mastery points, which I think will unlock equipment and stuff for me. All right, so here we are back at home. And yeah, sure, let's just continue. Continue salvaging. That's what we're here to do. We're here to bust ships apart and chew bubblegum, and we're all out of bubblegum.
It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce you to the rest of the crew in our sector today. Sound off, everyone.
More characters?
Hey, Rook. Name's Lou. I was the worm until you showed up, so thank you. Now I get to do the hazing.
Come on, Lou. What are you talking about? We don't do that. Welcome aboard and don't listen to her. I'm Dee Dee.
Okay. I'm Kaito.
Kai? I think your mic's still messed up.
Oh, Emma? How about now?
Better.
Hey. I'm Kaito. Kai.
Mic's still busted, huh?
Yeah, still waiting on the wreck to get approved.
Heaven forbid they give us functional gear.
All right, Lou. I'm sure they're working on it as fast as they can. Anyway, Cutter, I've just added you to the official sector comms channel. It gets lonely out here, so don't hesitate to check in with each other from time to time. All right. That's enough chin-wagging. Let's get back to it. Talk to you soon, Cutter. Weaver out.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Later, Rook.
So now we got more people to listen to besides Weaver. That's interesting. And, okay, so we've done what we can on that side of the hull. We have not yet gotten onto this side of the hull. So let's weasel our way in here. Start taking this stuff apart. Oh, right. Yeah, this is the side with the airlock in it, which means there's an obstruction. I believe when I was looking through walls, I saw that there is actually a fuel tank on this side too, so I need to be careful. But once I get past that airlock,
Object accepted for processing.
I will be in the danger zone when it comes to that fuel tank. Okay, so this one, nice simple piece, can send to the processor. And it's even lined up already. Alright, so we've got to make sure we do not hit that fuel tank. Looks like we can just barely fit. Oh, it looks like my fuel is low. That's not a thing I've had to worry about before. Are they talking about, like, the fuel I used to, like, navigate with? By the way, I gotta say, the airlocks on Mackerels used to be the worst. The fact that this one sort of pieces apart like that is a beautiful luxury. Look at that. It just comes apart so simply. It used to be that the airlock was the one part of a Mackerel that you just had to grit your teeth and be like, okay, well, this is going to suck no matter what I do. It does feel like I'm stuck to it now. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this bit goes to the barge. Does the whole thing go to the barge, or is this part? Oh, it's connected like that. Okay. Okay, so now we've got this bit that comes off and goes to the barge. This bit goes to the processor. And as before, you'll notice the nacelle slowed down before it got to its destination.
Account credit applied.
Once you get into the more advanced ships, you do start just not caring about light fixtures like this, but when you're in a Mackerel and there's not that many pieces, things like light fixtures, for some reason, seem more significant. I don't know. Any weird pieces on this? No, I don't think so. Okay, my fuel is really low. So after I rocket this into
Warning. Fuel levels are critical.
the processor, vaguely towards the processor. Oh, come on. I should head back and buy more fuel, which I honestly didn't realize was a thing I needed to do. Because I think I didn't need to in the previous update. All right, where was the... There it is.
Valuable objects processed. Credits awarded.
Hello, the tank.
Salvage gains observed.
We've observed some salvage gains. Okay, so it looks like what I'm doing is I'm crossing thresholds in that bar above. So it used to be that I would just always have a list of specific things I needed to deliver.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000. Thank you for your purchase.
Oops.
Restored.
Okay, so I've topped up my fuel and my oxygen. But yeah, I don't think I've seen that before. There being these sort of like the sort of 1, 2, 3 up above, saying how much of the ship I've taken apart, and then I guess rewarding me based on hitting those levels. Hey there, Jedi Psyctrix. So Jedi Psyctrix is a fan of this game. So there's a new update to this game, which includes more characters. So we're gonna hear more characters talking to me over my radio, not just Weaver. They've also revamped the Mackerels, which are sort of the lowest level ships. So, which is appropriate since I am starting my game over, and all I've got access to right now is Mackerels. They've added a new type of Mackerel, which is some kind of science vessel. I don't think it's available to the low difficulty level, low hazard level that I'm at right now. So I'm just taking apart a pretty standard Mackerel. However, they really have made some marked improvements to the Mackerels. Especially, my favorite bit that they've improved so far is the airlocks. The airlocks no longer have to be cut apart. They actually, you know, in a disastrous feeling sort of way, they actually have sort of prefabbed cut points and things like that let them just sort of come apart like they were meant to.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Unfortunately, because I've reset all my progress, I don't have tethers yet. So I'm just grabbing bits and flinging them in the right direction. Hope they eventually make it. Okay, so this had one cut point that I'd be very careful with. Right next to the fuel tank, but I think that's safe enough. And I can push this free. And then grab this guy, pull it loose, and fling it into the barge. And because I'm early game, gotta save every light fixture. And fire this guy into the processor. And like, look at this traffic jam of like all these things that have not made it into the processor. All right. So Ranithgor just told Jedi Psyctrix that I had actually added their name as a nickname in State of Decay. I've actually sort of made myself a rule that I don't tell people when I do that, because so many people have spent hours and hours trying to find their own name in State of Decay and failing, because there are so many thousands of possibilities. Like, it really is just going to take you forever. So don't do that, Jedi Psych Tricks. If you happen to find your own name, that is lovely. I'm so glad you had that fun experience. Please, please, please do not try to do it. Because it's just going to be a frustrating experience. It is not going to be fun. Okay, so this one, unfortunately, yeah, having my new weaker grapply thing and my lack of tethers is making this guy kind of hard. This is probably the biggest and heaviest part of this ship right here. So it's going to take a few shots. Okay, so now we're down to the skeletal bit of the hull here and the cockpit. Now I'm pretty sure this interior hull stuff, I think it's all furnace stuff. So I think I could actually... Oh, wait, this door is processor? Can I pull the doors off? Is there another door, like, near the airlock? Looks like not. I love how all the grabbing and wrenching I'm doing has just rotated this thing 45 degrees. Alright, so I think that the only way to get these doors off is to cut them. And then they just automatically come loose. And then they should be fairly small pieces that I can actually reliably fire into the processor.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
I could have sent these into the furnace with their doorway. And that would have been fine. Oh, crap. O2 reserves are down.
Can cause damage to Link's equipment.
I love that they emphasize that they don't care about my breath. They care about the equipment being damaged by too much CO2. So Jedi Psych Tricks is joking that her students are not going to get grades in their papers because now she's going to spend the next several hours finding her name and stated to K2. But I know you're kidding, and you're not going to do that. So... All right. So, I wonder if I can get this whole thing done before I run out of time. We got 3 minutes left. So, here's the problem. Yeah, so I tried to fire this thing, and all I did was get bounced back, which means I have to piece it apart before I can send it into the furnace, because it has too much mass, and so it just resists me too much. So... gonna try. Luckily, everything on it is cuttable. Please don't tell me except this bit. Okay, I'm in the wrong side here. Let's get out of here. I think this one thing might be the last bit connecting everything. Oh, and this is not cuttable. Okay, so I think I might need to do some fancy cut work to get around it. Still not separated. Okay, what are we still dealing with here? Oh, okay, we've got this bit. Anything else? Yes, okay. Still got stuff holding it on right here. Is that it? Are we free now? Can't quite tell. Let's try to move this bit. Yes, okay, it's free. All right, I think there's a good chance we're not finishing it this shift, but we're gonna finish it close. Because that was a lot of effort to get this one chunk free. And it looks like it's just barely movable by me. also got still pieces that didn't quite make it in. Man, I had just completely forgotten this part of the game. Once I got tethers, and I was making enough money to just pay for them, it was... tethers were the only way I sent things into the processor, unless they were extremely, extremely light. This is just taking forever.
Time is winding down, Cutter. Dig deep and let's finish strong.
Okay, it looks like this bit is still too heavy, but if I divide it in half...
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited. Raw
Now...
material processed. Credits deposited.
Now it works.
Chip
Thumbs
salvage
up.
full. Credits assigned to Cutter account.
Okay, so I hit goal 3. Does that mean I'm done? Like, do I not need to finish the cockpit? I mean, I kind of want to finish, you know? I've kind of got a little bit of a completionist thing going on here. And also, just if there's something I can learn about this cockpit, I'd like to. So yeah, I think we're going to come back, even though this is the next trip is not going to be a profitable one. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be worth it to me, except emotionally, to put that cockpit away. But we're going to try it. Yeah, so notice my salvage income is just, like, I made a good income, just barely higher than my fees for all of the stuff that I have to do. So I think this next shift, I'm not going to run a profit. We're going to do it because I want to see every part of the process here of piecing apart this Mackerel. In case, I mean, there could still be surprises in the cockpit, and I want to find out if there are. But I'm doing this knowing full well that I don't think I'm going to make enough money on the remaining components to be worth having started this session. Oh, so Tank wanted to know what that alarm was. So depending on when you asked the question, I'm sorry that I missed it originally, Tank. You were either hearing my oxygen alarm when I needed to go back and collect more oxygen, buy more oxygen from the company, or you were hearing just the ending of my shift, which is when I have to stop and go and pay a bunch of fees for the right to work here.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Okay, so I'm trying to, yeah. So it looks like I've got just enough power here to influence the orientation of the cockpit, which is good because I want to aim it at the barge. I want to aim the open door at the barge. Sometimes, so with later ships, the cockpit is often so heavy that you can't do this. And so it makes emptying out the contents much more difficult. Sometimes I would actually use tethers, which are much more powerful than my ability to push, to actually tie them to like some of the immobile things like the jacks that surround this area, just to get them pointed in the right direction. That might be close enough to the right direction. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. I can see the barge from here, so I can pull off. Wait, what? Oh, weird. Apparently, when I'm pulling with my... Oh, crap! That went the wrong way. Oh, did it eventually make it back in?
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, cool. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize this until I've actually pulled the furniture free. I'm actually pulling on both the furniture
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit
and
transferred.
the room that contains it. So pulling on this thing to remove it is actually pulling the entire cockpit in a weird direction. I don't know if I've had that experience before,
Salvage secured. Credit
but maybe it's just
deposited.
because I've been playing with heavier, more advanced cockpits lately. Maybe it's been that way for a while, but I didn't realize it. Okay, so historically, I've usually had
Deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
a second. Is this all furnace? Now, some of it's processor. Okay. So here, this is the puzzle for today. So one thing I could do is just throw the whole thing in the processor and say, whatever, I don't care about this furnace stuff. But there's a part of me that really wants to figure out if I can send the furnace stuff to the furnace and the processor stuff to the processor. So I think the furnace stuff is mostly the interior walls and the glass. And I think everything else is processor. So what happens if I cut into these interior walls? Will they come loose? Like, will there be an easy way to detach them? Because this is what I used to have to do with the airlocks, and they've made the airlocks not work this way anymore. Okay, so this one came loose. Cool. Need to figure out a way to get it out of here. Yeah. Ah! Gee. Okay, here we are. Hello. Let's point you that direction. All right. So there's one. But this bit seems like it's still attached. So let's try cutting it here. Yes, okay. So that does leave some of it behind, still attached to the outer hull. But it's still, you know, I make money on the stuff that I get in the right place, and I don't make money on stuff that I get into the wrong place. In fact, there might even be penalties? I'm not sure. So yeah, this is not the best use of my time. I'm not really making money on this. But it is interesting just to see how it works. Okay, so I think this time I got both pieces off.
Warning, oxygen reserves are low.
Yeah, so here, I'm going to have to... Okay. How do I get out of here? Hold on. Okay, let's go get some oxygen. So yeah, so the fact that I have to pay for oxygen, the fact that I have to pay for fuel, that's a big part of what's making this...
Fuel levels are low.
Making this session not profitable. Jedi Cytrix asks, is it still the case you don't actually have to get back home before the end of your shift? That's right. Yeah, when your shift ends, no matter where you are, it just ends the shift, and there's no penalty if you didn't physically return
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
to your home base or whatever. Okay, so I think we've got enough now to finish out the shift. I think this will cap out at around an hour long, actually, which will be good. All right. There. All right. I feel like I'm missing a piece. There it is.
Deposit accepted.
I like deposit accepted. It feels like the language you'd use in a bank, you know? Like just everything is money and assets to these people. Okay, so I think this is also furnace stuff. And now, these individual lights can also go to the barge. I am not going to worry about that. Just in case anyone wondered. It's interesting sort of lining things up when there's perspective. Like you're lining up a straight line with something that's actually at a skewed angle to you. Okay, so that's the side where things are connected. That's right. So I need to cut it off here. So when I cut it off at the other end, that was actually a waste. It's the airlock side where things are attached, not the... I almost called it the windshield. I don't think it's the windshield in space. The front porthole, the front window, is not a windshield.
Raw material processing.
Okay, is that... Yes, there's the other piece. Ah, man, cutting pieces out of the middle of a ship like this is, like, it's so hard to, like, physically remove them. Like, they'll just get trapped inside unless you cut them into tiny, tiny bits, at which point you're taking on a whole other problem. Okay, so, cut near the airlock. Vertical cuts. Good enough. Oh, wait. Sorry, I was trying to push those through, but there's processor hull on the outside, so I can't. Gotta come out these other side areas here. Close enough. I do appreciate that there is like a tractor beam or something inside each of the destinations, so I don't have to get it perfect. As long as it bounces around the edges, it'll eventually make it inside. Okay, I feel like I'm missing a piece. I cut apart like a floor or a ceiling or something and only ended up with one piece. Where'd the other one go? Well, maybe I'm crazy. Alright, well, windshield is the last bit. I'm just gonna call it a windshield. I made the mistake of doing that once when cockpit was so pressurized. That was fun.
Cutter, you got 5 minutes left in this ship.
No problem, Weaver.
Before they turn the lights out on you. Weaver out.
Okay, so this all goes to the processor. Pretty sure. And it's going to take a couple of blasts to get it there. Ah, there's the piece that was missing. I was just looking at it edge on, so I couldn't tell. It somehow made it out by itself. Oh, and here's the extra piece I cut off that I didn't need to cut off. All right. You ready? Come on. Come on, you can do it. Oh, crap. The outer door also goes in the furnace. You know what? I don't care. We're just going to send it to the processor. And then there's just going to be little tiny bits of debris out here. Not really worth worrying about.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Like, what's this? Well, I can't even pick it up. It's just little garbage is all it is. Okay, is there anything else I can grab? I don't think so. Oh, my O2's low. Well, I should not buy more O2. So let's head in. I'm pretty sure we've taken care of everything we can take care of. Hey there, Smug Rainbow Pony. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. All right. So let's head to the door instead of the O2 and shift. Yes. All right. So you see, I only made 270,000 this time, and I'm pretty sure my expenses are going to be higher than that. Good morning, Shipbreaker. Yeah. So my fees are like twice my expenses. A little less than twice my expenses. So I did not make a profit on that. All I got was emotional payoff for having finished the ship. I should have abandoned it. Okay, so I've got stickers, apparently. Oh, links. Safety third. Place it where? On my... Oh, interesting. All right, I can put stickers on my tools. That's great. Okay, I think that's a new feature. I don't remember it anyway. We got a bunch of messages here that I'm not going to bother everybody with. And so now if I wanted to start my next shift, I could still continue salvage on that one ship that is just whatever. No. So I guess we'll just have to grab another Mackerel at some point and continue. But we're not going to do it right now because we have been streaming for about an hour, which means it's time to wrap things up. But I'm excited to actually sort of start over again with Hardspace Shipbreaker. It's one of my favorite recent games that I've gotten on Steam. I've already played over 100 hours of various iterations of it as they've been working on it, and I'm probably expecting to have hundreds more ahead of me. So it's actually kind of fun to start over at the beginning again, to sort of meet the new characters and see what they've done with the smaller ships that lately I haven't been. I've kind of been ignoring the Mackerels for a while, so it's kind of cool to see how they've improved and been made more interesting as the game's advanced. But yeah, I guess we're done. So if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, and you're watching this later on YouTube, there's going to be a button right there. I've got other Hardspace videos that you could watch if you really like Hardspace, and that's that.